everybody. Thank you for tuning in today and this month to Next Level Leadership Podcast. I'm Steve Turpin, your host for this podcast. I am really glad that you have taken the time to elevate your game by tuning in, joining us, learning a few principles every month that if you will take them and use them, I promise you, your leadership, your life, every area of your life can come up to the next level. Here's a key though. You have to make a decision to do it. You can't just hear it. You've got to go and implement changes. Change is not always easy, but it's necessary. You need to look and do an examination of where you are and say, you know what? These are areas that I can work on. I am going to come up higher in these areas. I'm going to leave some things behind that I've been doing and start implementing some things I haven't been doing. And when you do that in any area of life, man, your life just gets better. So I want you to watch this if you would. Share it, post it out there, let other people see it. Many of the folks that are watching are church leaders, they're business leaders, they're people in sales, people in business, people who want to make a difference in the marketplace. I love the marketplace. I love seeing people succeed, and I want to help you get to your next level. So let's talk about a couple of things today. First of all, the last few months, we've been talking about making quality decisions, making better decisions. You are where you are today based on the decisions you made yesterday. And some people don't like that, but it's a reality. So what do you need to do? It's real simple. You just need to make better decisions. We also talked about having character and integrity as a leader. So many leaders today, no matter what realm you look in, they don't have the character and integrity that we would want in our leaders. And I want to encourage you to do that. Here's what I've learned over the many years of sales and pastoring and being involved in lots of different businesses and helping people. Here's what I've learned. Talent will get you into the room. Character will keep you in the room. And a lot of people don't have the character to stay in the room. Their talent got them there. They got the job. Their resume looked good. Things seemed okay. But then once they got in there, they didn't have the character, the integrity to maintain the level that they want to get to. So I want to encourage you, make sure that you are living a life that has character and that also has integrity. And then last month we talked about building your team and the importance of putting the right people around you. Nobody gets there by themselves. You have people that are around you. You have to surround yourself with people who are all rowing in the same direction, trying to get to the same place. We have different methods. I get that. We have different ways, but the thing that will help is when you put people around you who have the same goal in mind, and they want to help you get to where you're going, and by doing that, they recognize that it helps them to get where they're going. I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit. But it's vitally important of the people that you put around you. You have to have right associations. And I believe that you're going to meet the right people. You're going to hire the right people. You're going to do a better job of pre-qualifying them. Make sure that you are putting the right people around you. Hire better people. Do that, and I'm telling you, your life, your leadership is going to be better because of the associations that you have around you. Let's talk for a few minutes about some other leadership things. A friend of mine, Dr. Dave Martin, who is an amazing motivational speaker and life coach, has written a book called 12 Traits of the Great. And we use that even as a men's study in our church and helped a lot of our men to understand that there are characteristics that people who want to be great have in their life. And I've been studying greatness really all my life, but even in the last few months, I've gone back and studied it again. I've been teaching on it, of teaching people that there is greatness on the inside of you. I believe everybody has the potential for greatness. Everybody has greatness on the inside. Some people just don't release it. Some people go to the grave carrying the greatness that they could have achieved in their life on the inside. And some of those reasons are Many. There can be many reasons, but one of them we talked about is people have a hard time with greatness because they're selfish. They don't understand that greatness is not being famous. We have confused famous with great, and we can't do that. And a lot of people want to be famous, they just don't want to be great, because the scripture teaches us that the one who is greatest is the one who serves others. And some people don't want to do that. So they might be famous, but they're not great. So who are you serving? Who are you helping? And when we study those 12 traits of the great by Dr. Dave Martin, I'm telling you, you learn some things about serving. You learn about integrity. You learn all of those different things. And it's vital that you get that. I encourage you to get that book and read it and study it and look at those principles. But I want to take today and I want to talk to you about being a great leader. That's why I mentioned that. I want to talk to you about a couple of characteristics, a couple of things that you need in your life because you want your leadership in your life to go to a whole nother level. Say that. Say, my life is going to a whole nother level. And I believe that it is. So what do you need? What do great leaders need? Here's what I believe. Number one today, you need to be a great follower. To be a great leader, you don't hear this taught very often. But if you're going to be a great leader, you need to be a great follower. Who are you following? Who are you listening to? Who are you paying attention to? And then, if you have a boss, if you have someone who's over you directly and you're in regular contact with them, how do you treat them? Because you are setting an example for those that are following you of how you treat other people, that's the way that other people are going to treat you. And so you need to evaluate. Are you talking negative about your leaders? Are you talking poorly about them? Are you complaining about nobody ever does anything? I can't ever get them to do anything. Always complaining about who's at the next level? I'm telling you that doesn't help you be a great leader. Complaining, particularly in front of others that you're trying to lead, doesn't help your situation. So you need to pay attention. You need to be a great follower. Great followers can make great leaders. I remember when I worked for a company for a lot of years, and it was a big part of my sales and sales management that I had about 22 people that worked for me in different locations. And I had a regional manager who was over me. And he was in another town, and I didn't see him very often. But when he would come into our office, I knew who the boss was. I wasn't, he was the one in charge. I used to tell people, I knew who got who coffee. I wasn't asking him to go get me coffee. He wasn't asking me either, but I would go and get it. Why? Just as a sign of honor. He didn't even recognize it. He didn't understand all those principles, but I did. Honor is a lost art in today's management experience. People, they don't want to honor authority. They don't want to honor leaders. And they say, well, they don't deserve it. Honor isn't based on deserving it. It is honoring the position. It is honoring the place that someone has. It doesn't mean you have to agree with them. Many times you won't, but because they might not have the character either. But there's a position that they have, and you honor that position, and you become a great follower so that you can be a great leader. And many people, they forget that. They don't think it's all that important. But let me tell you, it really is. And I want to encourage you to be a great follower. We can talk more about that. But that's a step on your way to greatness. Let me share a couple other words with you today, too. Not only do you need to be a great follower, you need to have the courage to be a leader. People today don't have the courage that it takes to be a great leader sometimes. But when you are the captain of the ship, sometimes you got to make decisions that have to be courageous. Not everybody's going to agree with what you do. My personality style is I want everybody to like me. And that hurts me sometimes in management because sometimes I want to be liked more than I want to be respected. And that hurts the decision-making process. So you got to have the courage to make tough decisions, to chart the course, to tell others about the course, set the example, go do what you're supposed to do. And when you do that, others will follow you. Sometimes it means that you tell people, like the 1 minute manager used to teach us, that you tell people in 1 minute what they're doing well, and then you take 1 minute and you tell them what they need to improve on. You can do that kindly, you can do it with a right heart, but people have to be coached, and you want to have people on your team that are willing to be coached. People that think they know it all and you can't tell them anything, those are tough teammates. Those are tough people to have around when they can't be coached. So have the courage to do it. It's not easy. Sometimes you get beat up. You got to be willing to take some shots when you're when you're the boss, when you're the leader, when you're setting the course. You got to be willing to take some criticism. You can't be thin-skinned. You got to step up to the plate. You got to take the pitch. You got to be willing to do it, accept the criticism. Nobody achieves greatness without having critics. But critics are just those sitting in the grandstands. It's easy for me to sit in the grandstand and sit in the bleachers and criticize the ball player because I don't have to get out there and do it. It's easy for me to sit in the bleachers and criticize the coach because I'm not out there doing it. But that's too easy to be a Monday morning quarterback and say they should have, could have, and all that. Well, I'm not on the field making those calls. And a lot of times you just have to recognize sometimes there can be constructive criticism that can come from those that really want to help you. But then there's a lot of critics. You don't need to read your own Twitter feed. There's too many critics out there. There's too many crazy people out there. They're not doing it. You're out there swinging the bat. You go for it, all right? The third thing I want to tell you today, first of all, you got to make sure that you're a great follower. You got to have the courage. And lastly, let me encourage you about the word commitment. You got to have commitment to be a great leader, to be a great spouse, to be great in your life. You've got to have commitment. And so many people don't have that. They miss the fact that you got to wake up every morning and you've got to have a commitment to what it is. What is it in your life that you're obsessed by? If you're a salesperson today, let me encourage you. Are you obsessed with being the best? Are you obsessed with being the top salesperson in the region, in the department, in the company? Are you obsessed? Then go make it happen. Every day you got to get up, go grind it out. I don't feel like it. I know, but you got to grind it out when you don't feel like it. There's a lot of days I wake up and I don't feel like it, but you know what? I get up and I go do it anyway. I make people around me feel special. I make people be encouraged. I encourage them. I build them up and I get the day going. Some days you just grind it out by faith. Some days you just grind it out because it's the right thing to do. You don't wake up every day feeling like Superman, but you got to get up and go do it anyway. Why? Because you're obsessed. You have a commitment to do those things. Let me read you a quote from the race car driver Mario Andretti. Mario Andretti said, "Desire is the key to motivation, but it's determination and commitment to an unrelenting pursuit of your goal, a commitment to excellence that will enable you to attain the success you seek." I'm telling you, that's a powerful quote about commitment. It's a commitment to an unrelenting pursuit. Do you have that? Are you obsessed with what you're doing today? Get up, make it happen. Have not just motivation, but have the discipline to go grind it out. Go do it. Sometimes I hear coaches say to the players, look, it's the end of the second half or the end of the fourth quarter, and it's a close game and you're tired and you're like, oh man, I got to get up and down the court. You know what that is? You just grind it out for a couple of more minutes. You just look inside of you and say, you know what? I got this thing. I can do it. And you grind it out. That's what makes you a winner. That is what makes you a next level performer in sales. Come on, you salespeople. It's time to step up. You have a commitment. You know how you beat 90% of the other salespeople? Just show up. Have the commitment to show up. I'm there. I'm doing it again. I didn't get the sale yesterday. I'm going to get it today. I'm going to work hard. In fact, I'll get 2 today if I missed one yesterday.